Hey everyone, got a kind of a different idea for a video today. Normally we're talking about the silver that we're buying and that we're excited about. Today I want to talk to you about the silver that I have that I don't love, the stuff that I wouldn't buy again. So obviously I was kind of new at this when I first started. You maybe new while you're watching this, and so I thought it might be helpful to talk a little bit about some of the stuff that I've bought that if I was to do it all over again, I would have never purchased. So main theme of these is that these are 1 ounces. I got 10 ounces of silver here. I went through all my silver, and these are the 10 ounces that I own that, if you were to give me the monetary value of my gold and silver and tell me that I can start from scratch and start fresh and buy all new stuff, there's no way that I would buy these, even though I have them, even though I bought them once upon a time. So some of these were some of the very first silver that I ever bought, like these 3 coins right here, or these 3 rounds right here. These were made when I didn't know anything about silver. I was just there to buy gold, and I told the guy, hey, I brought $2,000, just give me something for the rest. And he's like, well, I got silver. So I didn't even know about silver, didn't even want to buy silver, but he just basically rounded me up to $2,000. And so what we've got is we've got 4 rounds. They're all made by kind of generic private companies. So you've got like 9 Fine Mint, it says on here, and then you've got Sunshine Mint on the round up on the top, and then we've got 4 rounds and then 6 1-ounce bars. These are also just very generic. Atmex, you've heard of Atmex probably. They're a private, distributor. This right here is just a generic 1-ounce round. So if I was to do it all over again, I wouldn't buy these. I wouldn't purchase these. And the reason for that is that silver, you do get these generics at a little bit cheaper premium in price than certainly than an American Eagle, but even then a Sovereign or another type of round. But I don't, usually you can find some stuff that's pretty good deal that carries like maybe a little bit more significance other than just the 1 ounce of silver. Even I think the Liberty rounds, even though the Liberty rounds aren't a sovereign coin, even though they are, kind of a generic, I think they're such a popular generic that they cover, they're really recognizable. I should have been prepared for this, but I'm going to grab a Liberty just to show you. This is actually a 5-ounce Liberty. I really love these, but just to show you. So there are generics that look like this, the Liberty on the front and the Buffalo on the back. I think if you are going to be buying generics, something like this is really good because they are so recognizable, they are so common, they are popular. So I think that people kind of, recognize them and respect them a little bit more than, just a plain generic. So these ounces of silver, I don't necessarily recommend buying them because I think I bought these ounces of silver, somewhere between $25 and $30, however many years ago. And now silver's at $50. But I thought it might be helpful to say, what have I bought along the way that I'm not excited about? And I think that if you can get a Sovereign from another country or a Liberty or something like that, even if you have to pay an extra dollar or so, I think that it's definitely worth it. And these I definitely won't be getting more in the future. Now I will say one thing about the bars specifically is I have some 5 and some 10-ounce bars, and I think it is good to have some generic larger format silver once you start building a little bit of a stash, once you start buying bigger purchases. A 5-ounce or a 10-ounce bar, you get such a good price on the premium that I don't think it really matters if it's a generic. So don't necessarily worry about the 5-ounce and the 10-ounce bars. But for my money, I'm not as excited about these 1-ounce generics, whether it's a bar or a round. And yeah, just wanted to show you guys that, talk to you a little bit about that. I've got 10 ounces here, and the gold to silver ratio is falling. I don't want to trade too much silver for gold right now, because I definitely think that the gold to silver ratio could go even lower to 60 or maybe even 50. But I think, I've been really heavy on silver this year, and my stack is starting to get a little maybe too heavily distributed towards silver. I'm like almost at 50-50 in dollar value between silver and gold, where I'm more of a gold guy. I'd really prefer to be at like 75-25, 75% gold, 25% silver. I think that's more ideal, even though I've been buying a lot of silver. So I think I might take these 10 ounces of silver and try to trade them in for like a 10th ounce of gold. And then I'm keeping my eye on the gold to silver ratio. If it ever gets to 50 or 60, then I'm going to make like a more significant move, trading, 50 or 60 ounces of silver for 1 ounce of gold. If you buy silver at 85, 90, 95, 100, 110 times the value of gold, and then you trade it for gold when the gold to silver ratio is much lower, you actually end up with more gold than if you had just bought only gold along the way. So I might start dipping my toes into trading for silver for gold as this ratio is going down. Like I said, just starting with these, little 10 ounces right now, mainly because I don't even really want these or care about these. Just trade this for a little bit of gold, and then, 50 or 60 ounces worth of the bigger bars that I have. I could be like looking to make a move later on down the road in trading that for gold. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's something you ever bought that you weren't super excited about once you had it. And yeah, thanks for watching.